One.
Here we
Hi
are.
everyone, here we are, Juliet with Juliet. She's in Byron Bay today, and she moved there. When did you move there? About 8, 9 days.
Yeah, last Tuesday, Monday night.
Yeah. So
Um, it's kind of been crazy. Like every single day, there's huge, huge, massive learning curves, and just like one day feels like a whole week. Um, and it's been really interesting, learning how to sustain myself. It's just been odd. It's the only way to put it, but I've really enjoyed it, and I've really had a lot of fun. And I've just kind of embraced the harshness because I think it's a big initiation to move out, and then also on top of that, moving out into a tent in like one of the busiest beach towns in Australia. It's like a lot,
Can you speak
but
a little
it's
bit? It's
a
hard to
lot
hear
of
you.
fun. Oh yeah. Um, is this better?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot all at once, but it's been fun, and it's kind of been like a crazy roller coaster ride. Yeah.
So crazy
roller the emotions
emotions
that you've been feeling, or in
that living experience.
Both. Um, because, like, for example, I'm facing issues that I never thought I would have to deal with living wise, because I can't really go in
As
my tent. I can't really go into my tent during the day because it's too hot. And so whenever I go in there, it's like to get changed or something, it's like getting changed as fast as I can. And also, um, last night there was a bit of an incident with rats in my tent, which was kind of. I woke up with rat poo in my tent, and I was like, this is so. That they were probably climbing over me while I was asleep, and I had no idea. So that was really fun.
how did you
And
get in?
probably through some hole somewhere. I don't really know. I'm just kind of covering. Today is like I'm going to be covering every little gap that I can. So
Has anybody else had
yeah,
that problem?
mm, yeah. It's been a bit of a theme with a few people. I think it's also where I'm set up as well, because the only other person that I've heard who has an issue is also like right next to me. So
Yeah.
I
right,
think it's to do with the area that we're at in the campsite. What other issues have come up? Oh, like having so many things to do in a day. Like just this morning, I have organized my clothes. Well, first I woke up, then I cleaned my tent because I realized, oh my God, there's rat poo in my tent. So I cleaned up everything. I put all my clothes away, and then I went and I charged up all my stuff to get ready for this live, and then it's like really hard to have a time schedule here because you'll be aiming to get somewhere at a certain time, and then someone will stop and talk, and then it's like, oh, I love this person, let's have a quick little conversation, and then a quick little conversation is 5 minutes. It's like, oh, that was 5 minutes, that was not a short little conversation.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes doesn't sound like much, but when you have things to do, 5 minutes throws you off quite a bit. So, yeah, it's just a very different environment, very new, and very kind of the opposite from life at home where you're sitting. So,
in
but
your
I love
bedroom.
it. It's fun. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Do you feel like then that this experience is teaching you, which is
one of the reasons why you wanted to move out.
Yeah. Um, I must admit, it's really hard to um, learn things because everything is happening so quickly. Like you'll go through a huge life lesson, like a huge awakening sort of level lesson in life, and then the next second you're at the beach, or the next second someone's asked, "Oh, hey, do you want to do this?" And it's like, actually, yeah, I do want to go to the waterfall with you. Let's go to the waterfall, and then you're at a waterfall. It's like it's hard to take the lessons fully in. Like you really have to make sure that you're taking the time to process and journal and write it all out and like sit with it. Like there was, I'm trying to think. There's an example that I have specifically. Oh yeah, like getting bitten by the tick. When I got bitten by a tick up here, it was a huge thing for me because ticks were like my biggest fear at the time. In about in terms of bush life and living in the bush, ticks were my number one fear. And I got bit, and it was like, oh, that wasn't that bad, and I didn't really process what had just happened. It was just like, oh, I'm okay. I got bitten by a tick. That's all. That fear's happened now. I've experienced that. Let's just move on. And then the bite of the tick kind of got a bit like inflamed and sort of red, and so then that brought a new layer out that I didn't process before. And this new layer was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the doctor and check it out, and I'm going to settle into my body and feel if I'm actually okay and what's going on. And a lot of people were pushing beliefs on me about Lyme disease and things like that. And it was just like so much about this tick bite was coming up for me to learn. And yeah, I ended up going to the doctors, and everything was fine. It was like, oh, okay, so I am all good. And
so now it's been a
um,
few. So
yeah,
how is the
I,
friend or
um, it's there's still a little bit of a bump, but nothing more than that. And I've had it covered up with a band-aid for the past few days until last night. I had a band-aid on it, so it's been fine. It's been okay. And yeah, it was just interesting because the whole time when everyone was freaking out about Lyme disease and telling me, oh, well, you got to watch out for this and that, and tick bites can be really bad and things like that. I knew the whole time, like my body was telling me I'm okay. Everything was telling me I'm okay, and I could feel that I was okay. But there was still this level of, oh, but everyone's yelling at me to go see a doctor, and it's weighing on my mind. So I'm just going to go see a doctor, so I'm not like constantly having it at the back of my head and looking externally to this doctor to relieve my worry. And then I went to the doctor, and she was like, yeah, it's okay. It's all good. And it was like, oh, okay, well, now I can actually rest and I'm not freaking out about it anymore. And there's a lot in that for me because, like, I knew already that it was okay, but I needed, in that moment, I genuinely needed a doctor to tell me that for me to believe it. Just where I was in life and how I was feeling, and like I wasn't ready just to trust me
yeah.
and my feelings. But I think it taught me that I can. That, like, I think it was kind of one of those trust exercises where it was like, well, my body's telling me okay. If I go to a doctor and they tell me that I'm okay, I know that my body wasn't lying to me. Kind of one of those things, like a trust exercise, because I could
Yeah.
feel for some reason going to the doctor would really serve me, and that's why I did it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it because I could feel this like need for an external validation and from the doctor. But it was like, okay, well, I can feel that there's this need for external validation, but I also feel like it will really serve me if I go. So I'm gonna go, you know.
Mm.
And I'm glad I did. But there's still things to process in that I haven't yet. And it's just like every day there's something huge that happens. It's like a kundalini or spiritual awakening every single day up here. It's like seriously insane. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
So
That experience with
the doctor and
Mhm.
it already knew. Do you think that a certain level of trust
Oh
with
god, there's a
your
spider on me. Oh, there's a spider. Okay, sorry, continue. There was just a spider on me. Did you see that on camera?
yes, I did that
universe conversation?
It was. But look, how chill was I about that, Mum? Compared to like what I would usually be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like actually taking it off of me.
Yeah.
You know, if that was if that was me like a month ago, it would be a viral video on mine. It would get 1 million views just for that moment.
That was the universe just going, look, Mum, how much she
Yeah. Yeah. Like that was actually kind of chill. I'm like, oh, there's a spider on me. Oh. But I mean, to the people watching, they're thinking, oh my god, she's so dramatic, and it's like, oh no, that was actually really chill.
Well, I had something. I was hanging washing out on the back
deck
deck
the other day
day.
and I had something fly down and oh my god,
Ooh, ooh,
it felt terrible. Like it was all
oh,
Crusty and spiky.
no,
oh. Did you know what it was?
no.
Imagine it was a cockroach or
Or a grasshopper
like that because it was
spiky.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
I jumped around and I was going, oh, oh. Calm down, it's all right, it's gone.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Thank you, Spider.
About
how people from overseas perceive Australia.
and you know, I used to be a flight attendant, so I've travelled a lot, and I've spoken to a lot of people.
Yes, traveling the world.
Australia is, and I've always
Always felt gratitude that I live here.
Mm.
Always,
you know, we can travel anywhere around Australia and we'll get a different
state will get different. We get different weather patterns. Like we've got it all here.
Yeah.
I get you took it. Yes, so
Yeah.
people.
It is such a dangerous country because of all the things that can kill you.
Spiders,
Yeah.
snakes, and crocodiles, and sharks, and all of that, and
How
people
would be difficult and how it just really is so beautiful. Contrary to
Mm.
what people make me think about what it's like to live here.
but it is
I know.
conscious of in, you know,
You basically live in the bush, so
you've got to deal with rats, you've got
ticks around you.
you've got things that you need to deal with
Yeah.
from a young age. That has been that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
just
like-
in an area where those things are all in your face.
Mm. And I'm also like, I think growing up in this country and hearing everyone going on about the spiders and the snakes and the this and the that and everything will kill you, and also being in the city where I'm not experiencing that, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of true if you go out in the bush, because I didn't really experience too many times in the bush, you know. So it's like, oh, maybe it is like that. And I just automatically, I think, just growing up had a huge fear of bugs and nature, really. Like, I was cool with trees, but not if they had bugs in them. You know, like once I found out there was bugs in trees, I no longer wanted to hug trees anymore. That was the sort of vibe. And um, and I knew as I grew up and had more experiences in the bush, I knew it wasn't exactly like that, and um, I knew it wasn't that scary either. And I also think
Yeah.
being someone spiritual and like tapped in, you understand like you're going to attract that if you're thinking about it. If you're scared of it, that's what you're going to attract into your life. And when I stayed at this place that I now live in, it was like I could feel that I was meant to be here, and I didn't let the
I can't hear you.
okay. Is it the wind? Is that what it is?
A little bit.
But it's mostly because the mic.
Okay.
Inside, so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah. And staying in this place that I now live in, it was like I knew I wanted to stay here, and I knew that also there was
Yeah.
things that scared me. So it was like, well, I'm just gonna have to deal with the fear because I'm not gonna not live here. And
Yeah.
it's
That's a big
interesting.
lesson, right?
It's yeah, and it. I think it's also interesting because I'm staying with a bunch of backpackers who aren't from this country, and I'll tell them about like, oh, I got bitten by a tick in there, or like, oh, be careful of Lyme disease. And then I go to the doctor, and the doctor says Lyme disease isn't even really in Australia, so don't even worry about it.
Mm.
So I was listening to people that weren't even from this country and allowing their perception, their beliefs to affect me. And yeah, I kind of made them my own beliefs. And it's like, it was so interesting to observe. And then also, I feel quite good about myself too sometimes when I'm like not scared and then I see everyone around me freaking out. It's like, because I was raised here, even though there's a level of, yeah, I was in the city and I didn't really have bush life going around. I was still in Australia and I still had Australian wilderness in some form. And so there's like, it's so funny when there'll be like a bug somewhere and everyone will like be like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, it's just a, you know, it's just a weird caterpillar, guys. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And it's like, usually I'm on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So I've always been scared of just bugs, but not anymore, really. I'm scared of them, but I don't let it stop me from doing the things that I want. Whereas I think earlier I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's been amazing
For you in your life,
from
3 years old when
we took a trip to see Dad's parents, and Dad
grandmother
was
was like trying to teach you to
stay away.
have that perception.
Yeah. Sorry, there's nuts flying somewhere from the tree above me. I don't know what's happening.
So funny.
We're talking about this
Around you.
Oh, I have another story. I have another story to tell once you're done about something that happened.
So I remember this
happening because
table, and she's saying,
saying to you, Juliet, stay away from
snakes, don't touch things.
and you
You
were
were listening, and I was sitting
there sort of
dying inside going,
no, she has to live with these things. Don't make her,
Mm.
you know, because
growing up
you know, we're very conscious of funnel webs in Sydney, particularly snakes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember being at a friend's house in Perth and the deck to visit us at the
Party, you know.
snake. So, you know, like,
Yeah.
these things, we were like, oh, there's a brown snake, but we
We
didn't
didn't all run screaming from the house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't.
This
You can't
talk
here.
that ran.
no,
You can't.
because you've got
Live your life
Yeah.
with these.
wild animals
Yeah.
around. And so
Yeah.
when Grant's was saying this, I hope you know that fear doesn't get put in you.
I think it did a little bit. I think it did a little bit.
Because
Mm.
Then, when you were little,
once you start to grow up,
experience
bugs and things more,
fearing you,
and it has
Yeah.
been a personal journey. I mean, I don't like
pulling down my back. I was like jumping around and squealing.
but you know, if I see a cockroach on the floor, I wouldn't run away.
Yeah.
I would have
the you know the
whatever, to scoop it up and chuck it away, or
give it to the
whatever.
I'm not gonna be
Scared that I can't touch it. Or get it out of the house or whatever. Like, I can do that for myself, and
that's what I've wanted you to get to that.
Dealing with rats, for instance, like waking up and saying to me,
Oh,
the night
is
wow, Juliet, like,
you're and you still want to live there? Like, that's major.
Mm. Yeah.
a change that I see immediately since moving out.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
tell us
because it's just so. Oh yeah, so
Tell us the story about what happened.
every Monday night at the place that I stay at, there is a talent show, and this particular time the weather was good, so we could do it outside, which everyone loves having the talent show outside because it's actually comfortable to fit everyone. Anyway, I was doing a Zoom meeting, like a spiritual circle call, and I couldn't make it until it had already started. And when I arrived, there was no spots left. And I had to sit on next to the table with a bunch of my friends, like on a box of beer. That's where I sat. And I was enjoying the show, and then these like weird little nut thingies, like they're tiny, from the tree above started falling on me, and I'm like, that's kind of weird because I mean, I didn't think any much of it, but it was just like, oh, that's kind of like annoying. There's no wind. I don't know where this stuff is coming from. And then in front of us, there was this water that kept dropping. Oh, sorry. There was this water that kept like dropping in front of the table.
All right.
And we're thinking it might be rain because it's actually like just spitting a little bit, like the weather is actually raining a little bit, so we're like, maybe it's just the rain, I don't know. But then it wasn't raining, and then it did it again, and so we're like, okay, something's going on here. And I looked it up, and I'm like, I don't think there's anything in there. I can't see anything up in the tree. So I stay there like an absolute idiot. And then maybe 10-15 minutes go by, and something wheeze on me. Wheeze on. Wheeze all on my arm.
Oh.
And I'm about to go on, by the way, because I don't know. I still don't know. I don't want to know. I washed my arm very thoroughly. God. And then I had to go and perform like after 20 minutes after that. Because I was like performing on the talent show. Yeah, and there's snakes in the kitchen as well. It was good actually. Everyone loved it. I still have people singing the song today. Some people want me to like send the song to them so they know the words and can sing it. So
Oh,
yeah, it went well. But I kind of
and
There's snakes in the
there's
kitchen.
there's snakes in the kitchen. There's a family of pythons. There's a mum and a little baby, and they live in the kitchen. And there's it's just like you can't run away from it. It's just everywhere. Like it's literally called the jungle. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
yeah,
It's literally called the jungle. That's where you live. Like the campground isn't called the campground. It's called the jungle. And
yeah,
at first, I'm like looking at this place, and I'm like, why is it called the jungle? Because there's just like a couple trees around, and like the actual campground itself isn't very jungly. It's right next to the campground where you look out that looks like the jungle. And then I realized, oh, it's called the jungle because it's the jungle. Like there's snakes, there's lizards, there's bush turkeys, there's like spiders, and there's bugs that you just never thought were possible to exist. Like there's these weird earwig looking like tiny little bugs, and they've got this like white spikes coming out of the back of it. And it's just these little tiny bugs with like white spiky things coming off of it. It's like, where the fuck are we? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Like, where on earth is this place? Like, are we on an alien planet? It's just so intense, but it's fun. I have people asking me what the thing is. Like, yeah, like that weird white bug. Everyone's like asking me because I'm Aussie. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, I have no idea. I am just in the dark as you are. Like, and I've not here at the actual place that I live in, but in this area I've seen like bright blue spiders with like red abdomen and like green, like bright red and bright blue all in one creature. And it was a spider, and it was like the most crazy looking thing. Oh, oh my gosh, this is another crazy story. Now, I swear to God, I found a new species of mosquito because what I'm about to tell you is actually crazy. I I went to the shower, like as you do as a human being, and I just turned on the shower and I started showering, and I'm like, I turn around to face the water, and I just see this weird thing up on the wall, like above, like high up on the wall, like next to me.
yeah.
And at first, I swear to God, I think it's a clump of hair. I think that's someone's left their fucking dirty hair up there. Sorry, I need to stop swearing. Someone's left their hair up there. That's so gross. And then I look closer, and I'm telling you, the clump of hair what I think is a clump of hair is like the size of my hand, right? And it's not thick. It's just like hair kind of wisped around. Anyway, so I look at this, I look closer because I'm like, is that hair? I can't tell. It's a mosquito. This size. It is with like spindly legs and like this weird like thing coming out of it. And the reason why I think it's a mosquito is because the body looked exactly like a mosquito, like it was the shape of a mosquito, but it was just huge. And the body itself was like that big. Like that big.
On your arm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I think I would have seen it because it's so huge. It's like I don't know. I swear to God, I found a new new species of mosquito. I wanted to take a photo of it, but I would have to take it on my GoPro, and everyone would have
Yeah.
heard the camera go off. And so I was like, I don't want people thinking I'm taking photos of them in the shower, or taking photos of myself in the shower. So it was like, I'll just wait. I'll just wait until I'm done and I have the cubicle door open, and then people can see. Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
taking a photo of anything like. Yeah, creepy or of them or something. So, but by that time it had flown away, and I was so bummed, and I was thinking I should have just not cared, and I should have just done it. And if anyone asked like, why are you taking a photo, I should have said, there's a huge mosquito, I had to document it. But like, I swear to God, I'm gonna Google it after this. What is the largest mosquito found? Because I think I found it, and it's in the girls' bathroom at the hostel that I'm staying at. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Other than bugs and
Yeah.
Insects.
what are some you've been, I don't know, surprised by, or things that
Didn't expect the stuff about living on your own.
Honestly, the stress. It is such a new environment, and I think I'm also stressed from like other things as well, because I'm I miss you guys, and I also it's a new environment. It's not like I've been on my own for a while, so I'm stressed already because it's a huge change. But then also there's this level of stress about money and about like food and survival, and like a very big base chakra um, level stress, like, so that was something that I didn't expect. And I think also because there's this like self-sabotage that happens where anytime that I'm happy, or I'm not thinking about survival basically, and I'm just kind of in the moment and I'm feeling good, this thing comes and swoops it away and is like, no, you can't be happy, you have to think about living, you have to think about survival. And it's put like a really big strain. Yeah, it is. I think also just like growing up observing, you pick so much up as a kid. Like, you just hear, oh, adulthood isn't fun. Adulthood is like, oh, enjoy childhood while you have it, like, and you hear, oh, wait till you have to pay taxes, and wait till you have to pay bills, and this and that. But in reality, I don't feel that at all. It's like this program that comes. It's definitely not me. It's just a belief that I've picked up because there's so many times when I'm happy. There's so many times where it's like I'm fine, and like it's actually not scary at all. And taxes and paying a bill of accommodation, and paying, like, needing to pay for things, like it's scary because I have never needed to do it before, but at the same time, like, I feel supported all the time because I know you can support me if you need. I know I have other money that can support me if I need, and I know I have friends around me who will support me if I need, because the people that I've made friends with, like, are the most incredible people, and they would pay my rent for a week and then I would pay them back, like, easy. It's just I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's like kind of the last option. So I know that there's support around me, and I also know that the universe supports me, and that like money is just energy and I can find it anywhere. So it's just been, because it's just such a new way of living, because I went from like obviously living with you and with everyone there, and I didn't pay rent. I just saved up all my money, which is why I'm here, why I can be here now. It's because of that support. And it's, I don't know, it's just interesting. Like, I'm running a bit low on money because I still haven't received my paycheck, and it's been like, that's also a new level of stress. So it's just like there's always things that come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like learning how to surf. It's a wave of uncertainty that you live.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just changing the brightness of my screen
Oh,
Right.
because
yeah. It's like a
it's I've had my screen on. Oh, sorry, you go.
I need to surf on this wave of uncertainty, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's very new, and it's also, I'm just learning a lot, and it's like being thrown into the deep end of life. But I also feel safe, and like I have these floaties on, and that no matter what happens, like I won't ever drown. It's like there's this something that is always helping me stay up on the surface and take a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I'm in the deep end, but I can't ever sink and drown.
yeah.
I think that a lot of life is about your attitude.
The way you,
You know, if you
Yeah.
have the attitude that of trust that, you know, things will turn out the way
go,
the journey may not look the way I thought it was going to look. I'll get there in the end.
you know, that things
It's going to be
Yeah.
okay. And
you
Yeah.
my back, you know,
high school.
then it doesn't. It kind of like in the end, it matters,
But it's not like
I'm gonna just
turn into a puddle of tears
and
never get up again.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely feel this element of stress, and like there's always something that I'm thinking about or worrying about, and at the same time there's this duality where it's like part of me is always letting go and okay with the outcome. Like I'm scared of things going wrong. I'm scared of needing to survive, but then there's this part of me that knows like I can get myself through anything, and like it's totally cool. Let's not build that reality. Let's build this reality instead, a reality that I want. But I think it's a matter of like finding yourself and actually going through the training that then the worry leaves. It's like
Yeah.
not when you act in the worry, it creates a stronger connection to the worry, and it gets like harder to deal with. But the longer you go without feeding into the worry, then it will go away. The more that you know and trust yourself to not buy into the stories of this ego and this fear, and the more that you learn that when you don't buy into those stories, life is actually 10 times more amazing and things work out perfectly as they should, that's kind of when you become your most empowered version of you.
And the same for me, like it's been an adjustment that year.
Yeah.
And I've had this plethora, smorgasbord.
About it.
Yeah.
All these feelings that I never thought,
I honestly never thought I would experience.
to see myself that I used to see in my mum.
Mm.
Kind of like needing to see
through her eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
it's
Like
now I have a better understanding
of how she was feeling and why she was feeling that, and
Yeah.
and it's I'm grateful because
I know being on the
besides being the daughter, like in your shoes,
with
a mother
who's
with those feelings,
she couldn't
more understand them, or strong. She said things out of. I still remember
that were very hurtful.
Yeah.
second guess myself and doubt my
ability to look after myself. And it kind of
Mm.
was like it made me traumatized in a way because I became
independent. And
Yeah.
like
it's like
the
that
independence that I experienced was
in a place. It's like, well, I'm going to show
Mm.
you, Terry,
for me to
extreme because
I
didn't
didn't
need to,
you know be angry with her. I didn't need to retaliate to those negative feelings.
me projecting onto me.
All I needed
Yeah.
to do,
Mm.
and
So watching the,
Yeah.
being an observer and
watching these feelings,
I go, oh, there it is. Oh,
now I know how
Yeah.
my mum felt. The difference
Yeah.
between her and I is that I understand where they're coming from.
act out of those. I don't speak out of those feelings. I just feel
Feel them,
Mm. Yeah.
and
with a kind of like now I have a new understanding and an appreciation.
appreciation. Even though those feelings are not necessarily something that I
I do them
Mm.
because now I have a better understanding.
Yeah.
which then in turn gives me a better understanding of my reaction to those that
Kind of like vigilant
and
really
independent and
almost
in an angry way, if you know what I mean.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And it
was,
was
Yeah. It's
it was what I
been.
need to
did. I couldn't just
be myself.
Mm. I think it's been. It's kind of been hard. It's felt a little bit like a rip away. Like it wasn't a slow break away. It was like a rip, like
yeah,
a band-aid ripping off, sort of.
yeah,
And I think it was just really hard because there was no time to really prepare for it, for you or for me. You know,
how do you prepare for
yeah, you
this?
can't. Well, I think the only way that you do is if you plan in advance, like, oh, I'm going to move at this time, like I'm going to go in a month or I'm going to go on this day. And it's like, that's just didn't work like that. That's not how I roll usually, anyways.
I know.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Saying that though, Juliet, I've known for a long time that you wanted to move out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was very clear about that.
yes, but
It wasn't
unexpected. Put it that way.
Yeah. I think it was unexpected in a way that I wasn't expecting to actually do it. I knew I wanted to. I knew that I I wasn't happy in Sydney, but I wasn't expecting myself to actually change anything about it. Like I really proved a lot to myself by going out and doing it and creating the life that I want for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, watching you do it has
Been
been a joy.
like we've had our ups and downs because of course you're there and I don't see your an adjustment to the changes that I'm seeing in you. Like I have to adjust you because
Watching you as my child,
when we're living
changes take on a more subtle
nature about now that you're living away, when I see those changes,
jarring.
they can be a little bit like,
Mm.
oh, and
Because I wasn't processed, I didn't see it evolving
and it
in the face a little bit.
Yeah.
that's been
something
that,
that maybe.
yeah, or just
Just didn't know what it was going to feel like. Touching feeling for me
about it,
that you're
living the way that you want to live.
Yeah.
place that
Mm.
You're experiencing like
your fears
that. Okay, yeah, we're sitting
right now, but I can imagine
in the moment. They wouldn't be
Mm.
um, delivered.
No.
But yeah,
Well,
but watching you face those fears is, yeah, it's a really
I've known for a long time that
that
needed to happen, especially if you're
going to be close to nature.
yeah. You know what? I've actually really surprised myself with the amount that, like, with how easily I've dealt with all the fear. I've surprised myself so much. Like, oh, mummy, you're. Oh, okay. It was just echoing for a second, but it's not anymore. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I've
You,
surprised myself so much with how I've dealt with the fear because I've actually been kind of chill about it. It's kind of been that thing, like with the spider earlier. It's kind of been like that. And from the start too, like I remember it was the first night I was there and I saw a snake in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, there's a snake up there. That's kind of cool. And it was just chill,
yeah,
like it's just like, oh, okay, well, this is my life right now. Yeah. Although spiders are a bit different because I'm more scared of spiders, so it's more like, okay, spider, get away from me. But with snakes and stuff, it's been like kind of chill. And the whole random mystery wee on my hand, that was a bit more like frustration. My process with that was more like, of course it's me out of everyone here, of course it's me that gets peed on by this mysterious animal up in the tree, of course. So that's kind of more where that was coming from, not so much fear. But yeah, I feel like, I think part of the reason that I'm so easily dealing with it is because it feels so much like home here.
mm,
And it's like, I accept it because I'm happy and I'm where I want to be. So it's not like I'm in a situation where I didn't choose to be here or I'm forced to be here and now I have to deal with these animals. It's like,
yeah,
no, I want to be here. I want to, like, maybe I don't want to get peed on, yeah, but if it's part of the package, then I'll take it. That's kind of more,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So because you've been
active
in the choice,
Yeah,
of being there, and then the trade-off is worth it.
yeah. And
And
also,
the
it's
other,
actually more than worth it because I'm overcoming my fear, and that's like a
yeah,
huge thing.
yeah,
So I'm actually receiving. It's not like, oh, if this is part of it, then so be it. It's more like, oh, okay, cool. I also get to overcome my fear. That's another great thing that I get from this.
yeah. And so one last thing I wanted to talk about was your um, living in a tent.
Hmm.
Because something that about experiencing bad things, and you've actually to go one step further.
Yeah.
And I know it's been challenging for you because you've got no,
Yeah.
and as you said, it gets quite warm in there. But what are the positives about living
Um, it's actually really amazing because you get your own space, and it's like having your own room in this giant mansion. And the mansion is the whole, you know, lodge.
Yeah.
and you can make it fun. You can turn your tent into, it's like a blank canvas. You can turn it into anything. You can add what you want. You can decorate it. And also, I would recommend, if anyone's planning to go camping for a long amount of time, like long term, and by long term I mean more than a month,
Mm.
get a tent you can stand up in. That's what I would say.
Can you stand up
Because
in that tent?
yeah, I can stand up in it, and it's like amazing because then it actually feels like more of a home. Um, so positives are that it's like your own room, and I'm trying to think what else. You know what? Actually, in a place like this, there's not too many positives to living in a tent, other than it's fun. Like that's
Yeah.
really the main positive for me. And I wouldn't be living in a tent if I was living anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I'm living in a tent because of the actual place that I'm staying at with these incredible people and the shows every week, and like, just how I feel there. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be living in a tent. But um, yeah, I'm also just here for a few, I don't know how long, maybe a few months until I buy a car, and then I will make the car my home.
Yeah.
It's been hard living in a tent, I must admit. Like, even now, my laptop battery is not 100, like, it's quite low at the moment. It will be fine for now, like, for making this
Mm.
show, but it's still that level of, like, I charged it this morning,
Yeah.
and I didn't get a chance to charge it as much as I would like because I woke up and then there was rats, and then I had to clean my tent, and I wasn't top. And then I charged my laptop, but I only got like 45 minutes of charge, and it didn't go all the way. And now we're here, and now I'm low battery, and I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and at night, I can't go on my phone because it's on 1%. And it's
Yeah. Right.
like, and the kitchen's closed, so I can't even like go and charge my phone up in the kitchen, which is where you charge it. So it's just
Yeah.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
seriously.
You've not been paid from work, so you can't get yourself a portable battery, and
Yeah, it's just like, dude, seriously, like, come on.
yeah.
I just want a way that I can charge up my stuff. Like, yeah, that's probably the hardest thing, is like the technology. And it's not even about like, you know, it's about contacting you and being able to talk to you and being able to um, do work on my phone. And I also have other commitments that require technology,
Yeah.
including right now. And it's just like, that's probably the most challenging thing about living in a tent at the moment,
Yeah.
is the bloody charging. And
Yeah.
you know so yeah. That's what I'm facing at the moment. And that's probably been the biggest challenge so far, honestly. You know in terms of specifically the tent, definitely not overall. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's just a really big inconvenience.
Yeah.
So if anyone's planning to live in a tent, get like a battery of some kind, like a big one
Yeah.
where you can
Yeah.
like have multiple ports. That's my next purchase.
Yeah. Alrighty, but feel
Mm,
about this? Do you feel complete?
I feel complete. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can do updates of how life is treating you, and
Yeah.
kind of like we can do this once a month or something. Yeah, me too. And it's great for me too because I get to catch up and kind of dive a bit deep into your life, which is nice.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. I had fun.
Yeah,
It
me
was
too.
nice. It was just nice seeing her face. Because another thing that doesn't work is my phone camera, so I can't like video call anyone,
Mm,
and that's also been another hard thing to deal with.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Love you.
All right. Love you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
See you next time next week.
Yeah.
Great show lined
Woohoo.
up this week. Woohoo!
Bye. Do you know how to end the live?
How do I do it?
I think you press record again. Yeah, stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Bob.
Bye.